Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And before we get into it, make sure if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple that you are following our show. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. And if you just happen to also have a Spotify or Apple podcast app, follow us on there too. You don't even have to listen to us on there, but just follow us because it helps our show out a lot. But today's episode, we're going to be telling you guys about our top 10 favorite movies in no particular order. And I'm sure there's so many movies that we love and we just couldn't think of that would probably be on our list other than some movies that we did say. So no hatred there. But yeah, so our list is subjective or whatever. So no one come for us when we get to that part. But before we get into that, we're going to do our little segment. And now it's time for what we've been up to since the last time we talked to you guys.
Yes, you guys. And this is the last time, if you're watching on YouTube, that you guys are going to see my background for like until further notice, which is actually insane. Really scary to think about. I will have a different background. I don't even know what background I'm going to have in these next few episodes for this next month or so, but that is really scary to think about. But for those of you guys who aren't like religious listeners, I am going to be leaving for a training in Dallas, and I'm starting to get very nervous because from the day that we're recording, in 3 days I will be like in Dallas, in Texas, and that is actually beyond crazy to think about that the time is actually here because it's been a long process, but it's finally here. And yeah, my room right now, it's an organized chaos. I'm starting to like pack and get things together and see what I'm missing and everything. But yeah, that is crazy. And that leads me to I am banned from spending money, y'all. I have been buying little like things here and there that I'm like, oh, I'll need that for training, or like that'll be like a little essential or something. And let's just say my wallet, I'm banned. No more spending money for me. I will eat whatever they give me, like no eating out. Like, no, we're done. I'm cutting myself off. I will say though, side note, I bought some Old Navy jeans that were on sale for literally only $20, and I was influenced by TikTok. I saw literally one TikTok of a girl with them on, and I was like, those jeans look so cute. And it just so happened they were on sale. So I just kind of guessed a random size because I'd never bought jeans from Old Navy, but it turned out really good. And they fit super cute, perfect length. They are short girl friendly if you adjust the size to the short length. So if you guys are in the market for some new jeans, let me just influence you to go to Old Navy.
And then my life update is not very fun. All I've been feeling is burnt out and tired, literally. I'm tired right now, so if you guys see me yawn or if I'm not in the most upbeat energy that I usually am, it's because my body decided to wake me up at 7 a.m. this morning when my alarm doesn't even go off until 9 o'clock on the weekends. And I was like, why did my body do this? So yeah, I just kind of like woke up early, so I feel like I'm still tired from that. And just like with school and everything has just been a lot. I'm just like, I'm done working. Like, I don't want to do any more schoolwork. Thankfully, all I have is literally April left because I graduate in the beginning of May. So I'm like, thank God. But then another full-time job is going to come, meaning applying to jobs. Literally applying to jobs as a full-time job. And have I heard anything back from anyone except for rejections? No. So that's like a little scary. I think a part of it is I'm still applying a little too early, but it's just like, you guys, like, what am I supposed to do here? But so that has me a little stressed out, but I'm just trying to like, take it day by day. But that's really all I've been up to since the last time you guys have talked to me, literally just stressed. So I have nothing to say.
And now we're going to go ahead and get into favorites of the week. And I'll let Candy go first because I kind of stole her. So I'll let her have her moment, you guys.
So my favorite of the week is literally living at home. I'm pretty sure I've had this favorite of the week before, but it was just too good that I have to have it twice. And something about being at home is just like everything's here. Like my parents cook for me and it's like they grocery shop for me. And my neighborhood is like more out in like the country. We don't live in like the sticks, but we don't live in like the town. And so it's just like a bunch of like grass everywhere and trees, and it's just so peaceful and quiet, and it's like your own little like oasis, like you're isolated from everyone, it almost feels like. And it's just so nice. I'm just like, I could live here forever. Not really, but it's just like for my life right now, I'm like, this is perfect. And like low-key, I'm not rushing to move out. Like I do want to move out. I'm not the type of person that's like, I want to stay at home forever. But like for my life now, especially while I'm in grad school, is literally the best. Like I think I had this epiphany when in one of my classes this week, Monday, like my mom ordered us some pizza because I was craving pizza that day, and I was just like grubbing in class on my pizza. And then another class, I was like, I have to pee, and I can literally just like quickly leave and pee and stuff, and it's just like so like perfect because like I'm at home and just my room is just so comfy, cozy, and I don't know. I was just like, I love living at home. Like this is truly the life.
No, because like I said, I'm copying Kennedy and living at home is elite. I will preface by saying, like, if you have like a good family relationship, like if you don't get out, like we totally support that. But if you do have a good family relationship, I don't understand the rush to leave home, you guys. It's literally like Kennedy said, everything about it, just like everything is here. I don't have to worry about not having toilet paper. I can just go downstairs and there's toilet paper, there's toothpaste, there's everything at my hands, at my fingertips. And it's just I'm gonna miss this, you guys. I don't take it for granted because I'm like, I think that's what I'm gonna miss the most. Like, yes, I'll miss my family, my friends, and all that stuff while I'm gone, but like living at home, like my room, just the comfort of it. Oh, I'm really gonna miss it. And yeah, don't take it for granted if you are in the position to like get out and there's like nothing necessarily like being like holding you to get out. Don't rush it if you can.
And with the way the job market is looking and apartment prices, honestly, I feel like it's the norm nowadays for people our age to just be living at home. And it's just like, why rush it if you can't? Save your money if you can. So yeah, we are huge advocates for living at home. And now we're gonna get into pop culture. We have a lot to talk about, you guys. Again, the Merman wives. So first, Jessie Draper was on Call Her Daddy, and emphasis on Draper. Low-key, I like never knew Jordan's like last name, so I feel like I low-key always knew her as Jessie Draper. But anyway, she was on Call Her Daddy, and she exposed a lot of stuff. And I mean, we already knew Jordan was literally the worst man ever, but just the way he like has gone about everything post divorce, and the fact that he like would get mad at Jesse about stuff when he literally would be hanging out with escorts, be having these suspicious parties. And he said one of those comments about like, oh, like I want you to do Pilates, da 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 da. I'm like, what is with these toxic men and Pilates? Like, I'm literally about to stop doing Pilates because like that's giving me the ick now. But yeah, she exposed him and she said her truth, and I loved how truthful she was in it. And Alix was like, she was asking good questions. Like, me and Elizabeth have talked before. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I know for sure in private we've been like, why is Jessie always the one leaving the house? And then Alix asked her about it, and I forgot her answer, but it's just like, I just hate Jordan. And the way he's going about everything, he just wants to milk as much money from the situation as he can.
What Kennedy said to absolutely everything. I don't even watch Call Her Daddy like that, but you guys trust. Wednesday when this episode dropped, literally in the morning, I was still in bed. I sent Kennedy a picture of me like I hadn't even got up to use the bathroom. I was already watching this podcast episode because it was that deep, you guys. I needed to get the full story, specifically her side of the story, because like it's the truth. Like, I'm not gonna believe anything that nasty little short man has to say. And like Kennedy, I had no idea what her other like last name was. Like that whole part in season 4 where she's talking about the last name, I didn't realize that she didn't go by Jessie Draper. I always thought that it was Jessie Draper. So I was a little confused about that, but glad we got to see all that. But like Kenny said, all the questions Alix asked, it was literally everything that I had questions about, I had doubts about. She asked, she answered, and yeah, I absolutely loved the interview. I thought they did a great job. And Jessie has her moment. She has the interview. So what started as rumors but ended up being truth, you guys, is that Jessie kissed Chase, which is Miranda's ex-husband, at some party. And you guys, oh, Jessie, she was doing so good, and then she kissed that nasty man. I will say, I thought it was just funny, like Miranda's reaction of like, it's a rite of passage at this point. Like, I'm not even surprised, because with Taylor and Chase and everything. But I'm like, ugh, wow, I can't. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm still standing with Jessie and all of this drama and everything because that short man deserves nothing.
Yes, it's at this point, I'm like, justice for Miranda. She deserves better people. Make her be the bachelorette. Like, please, everyone's doing her dirty. And it's just like, Jessie, everyone's on her side right now, and then you decide to not be a girl's girl. And it's insane because, I mean, obviously, we all know what Shania did was wrong. So it's like, why would you basically kind of do what Shania did? Like, just, and like, Miranda has like come out and been like, at least from her side, like, it truly is a co-parenting relationship, but still, that's just so disrespectful and slimy to go and like kiss someone that's supposed to be one of your good friends because you're in this business together, ex-husband. Or technically, well, they're not together, but like technically in the eyes of the law, they're still married, but obviously they're separated. So it's just like, it's very, very, very slimy. And people were bringing up how in the Call Her Daddy interview, she was like, you know, Chase has been there for me throughout this divorce. And people were like, girl, why would you not, you know, talk to Miranda? Like, she was also going through a divorce. So I just think that's insane. It's like, girl, why? Like, Utah, like, I hear it's a small place, but like, I know y'all gotta have some cute people in y'all's DMs, like, surely.
And especially because, like, they're not even in Utah full time. Like, they're literally traveling. They're doing all. I'm pretty sure this kissing thing was in LA or something. So it's like, y'all's pool is actually insane. Like, y'all got an ocean of people at your hands that you could, like, if you're really, you know, looking for a rebound, you can get that. But to keep it within the circle, that's actually crazy. Yeah, I was at a loss of words. And I thought it was just funny because it was literally, I think, like, the day after the Call Her Daddy episode is when, like, the rumors started. So I'm just like, Jesse, like, the timing could not be worse for you right now.
And it's not even just Miranda that she did dirty, but Chase's ex-girlfriend Kate, if you guys remember her. Apparently Kate and Jesse were actually like have been friends for a long while. So like she not only portrayed not only did she not only did she betray Miranda, she also portrayed Kate as well. So I'm like, oof, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, that's all we have to say about them two. I mean, it's still playing out. We got Jordan asking to be on Harry Jowsey's podcast, and then this kissing thing, and they're not even freaking rolling right now. So we'll see how this all ends up. Will Mom Talk survive this? I don't know.
This is like the one time where I'm sure like Mom Talk will not survive this. Like, I feel like every season they talk about will Mom Talk survive this. I don't know, y'all. I think y'all just dug your grave even deeper. And then our last little like Mom Talk pop culture social media thing going on is Jen has officially been confirmed as being one of the Mormon and being one of in oh my gosh. Jen has officially been confirmed as being part of that new like Mormon Wives LA spinoff that they're doing. We don't know the premises of the show, if it is going to be like Mormons or just like moms or like what exactly it's going to be, but it has been confirmed that Jen is going to be in it. And me and Kennedy were both saying that it's, I guess her and Zach are going to be terrorizing another group of women.
Yes, I remember seeing these rumors kind of swirl around a couple months ago. So it's like, honestly, I always love it when rumors come true. I'm like, yes! I'm like, y'all be knowing tea. Like, that's so fun. But yeah, so for it to actually be confirmed is actually insane. I think we don't know any of the other cast members that are going to be on it, but the rumors that I've seen is that it's going to be like Avery Woods, Aspen Ovard, and just like some other people that like I feel like I know their face, I just like don't know their names. I know Aspen and Avery from what I think are ex-Mormon people, or at least have been around in that culture, so that would make sense with the Mormonness. But I don't know if it's gonna really be like kind of like, oh, we're all ex-Mormons, blah blah blah. I also saw somewhere else that like Macy's sister could also be a part of it, but I'm not sure. It shall be interesting. I honestly am like, I'm not watching this show. I would probably watch like the first season or whatever just to see like the vibe, but like if Jen's gonna be the lead, I'm like, boo, boring, wrap it up. I'm like, honestly, I would much rather see the current group of Mom Talk. I don't know if they'll move forward with Taylor, but just like, you know, Whitney and Michaela and Macy, even if they're not living in the same places, I just want to see like them and follow their career and stuff. Like that's all I would really want to see. I could care less what Jen has going on, to be honest.
And then with that like realm, I guess, not even really, it has nothing to do with them, you guys, but like with the Mormons and the Bachelorette and everything, there's rumors on the street. I don't think nothing's been confirmed that Maura Higgins, which for those of you guys who don't know, she was in the latest season of Traitors, but she's going to be the new Bachelorette. I've been seeing a lot of posts about it, and I think she even commented on something, and forgot what she commented, but it was kind of like sneaky vibes.
Yes, and Maura Higgins was also on Love Island UK back in the day, season 5. She was on the same season as Molly May. But I don't have any thoughts on it. I mean, I honestly would not will probably not watch it if she is the Bachelorette because I'm not really that invested in her as a person. But I could see how it could be good for the network. But I'm still team release the tapes, just show us Taylor's season. I feel like low key at this point, the internet has already moved on to other things since all the news broke out about Taylor and like the video and all that stuff. Like I feel like everyone's now talking about freaking the kissing stuff now at this point. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm still team also that Miranda should be the Bachelorette. I know it was said that Layla and Miranda were like passed over as options, but I think let's not be quick to move on from the Mormons. I think we still have some potential.
I also agree with Kennedy. I am both of those teams. I think just ABC made it worse for themselves by canceling the season because it's like, y'all knew about this, so why are you canceling it, type. And I think that they chose Maura because that's the new it girl that everybody's like loving and obsessing over. So it's like, oh, let's do this. But if it truly is like a dying show, as like everybody's talking about, I feel like they're just making it worse for themselves. Like whoever's in charge of their PR and everything, they need to make some better decisions over there.
Yeah, The Bachelorette is definitely dying. I definitely think with the new shows such as Love is Blind, Love Island USA, and honestly Love Island in general, it's just kind of like the dating show format is changing and The Bachelorette is very boring compared to it. So like they need to change the format more than just like relying on having big stars be The Bachelorette. But those are my 2 cents about that. But now we can get into some Bridgerton drama controversy. So season 5 has been announced that it will be Francesca's season, and her season is going to be on the love story between her and Michaela. And before this news, or when this news dropped off, I was like, wait, this is so weird. I thought it was going to be Eloise. But Kelsey was like, the show's following the order of the books. So for me, for someone who loves Bridgerton, or not loves, I like Bridgerton, but I'm not like obsessed with it. And as someone who hasn't read the books, I'm like, I feel like personally I'm fine with it. I'm like, it's whatever, as long as we get Eloise season next. But I know it's a big topic of conversation online. Some people are like, I love it, and some people are like, I hate this.
I feel mixed opinions about it, because I think I'm just more salty that it's not Eloise's season next, or Eloise isn't the main focus of it. But I know that there is a lot of controversy about them choosing to do like a lesbian storyline instead of like, because in the original books it's Francesca and this guy named Michael, and then in the new like season it's gonna be Francesca and obviously the cousin Michaela. And I was actually looking at it last night, and like the only thing they're changing is that instead of a male it is a female. Like in the books it is apparently the cousin of Francesca's husband that passed away and everything. Like that whole storyline is exactly the same. But my thing is, I'm just like I think I'm more intrigued on how they're going to play it out, just because like I know that Bridgerton universe doesn't necessarily stick to like like it's not historically accurate. Obviously having like a black queen and like aristocracy that is like people of color and everything, they would, let's be real, they would be like slaves or like lower class and everything in this time period. So obviously like they don't stick to that like historical stuff to perfection. But I feel like for the most part they try to like keep the social stuff. Like in the last season, all this about the mistress, like it was a scandal. Like that was actually insane that somebody would like prance around the town with their mistress, and like that was beyond, like you can't do that. Like Colin was, yeah, no, not Colin, Benedict was like ready to be banished to the cottage or whatever and everything. So I'm just very intrigued on how it's going to play out, because in my mind I'm just like, how are they gonna have like a lesbian couple like be openly like have their relationship, unless they just completely just like disregard or something. I don't know. I personally don't see it having like a full like love story happily ever after, unless they completely change everything, which I know that they probably will. But I don't know, you guys. I feel very intrigued about what is going to happen. I was very much looking forward to the whole like infertility storyline kind of Francesca. And when I was my research is chat, you guys, so take this all with a grain of salt. But when I was asking chat about it, apparently like in the books, like that is like a big thing, is like her whole like infertility stuff. So I feel like season 4 we got a lot of like teasing about the infertility, but I'm like, are we even gonna see any of this? Because like if she's gonna be with a cousin that is a female, I feel like having children won't necessarily be a topic of conversation, just like biologically speaking. I don't know if adoption was a thing back there or not. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think I'm just like intrigued on how it's all gonna play out, is what I would say.
Yeah, I would say low key, I don't have any thoughts except I feel like their Bridgerton universe, like, it like doesn't even necessarily even have like a time period. It just kind of exists. We just know it's an olden time show, and it's like one like critique I guess I would have on the show is like they kind of pick and choose when they want to talk about kind of social constructs that don't like. I feel like they've built Bridgerton, and why Bridgerton was a success is because it's like this regency world that where race and class doesn't really matter. Well, class in a to an extent, but like race, sexuality, all that type of stuff doesn't really matter considering Benedict has been very fluid with his sexuality. But I feel like definitely in this past season they've really like kind of brought that more into this world. So I wonder if that's, I don't know, maybe that was part of a setup for season 5. But yeah, those are my only thoughts or opinions about all of that.
And then we're gonna go ahead and get into our last pop culture news, which is Alix Earle she launched her skincare brand, Real Active, I think, or Real something, Real A.
Real actives.
Oh, look at me. I knew I was onto something. Yeah, she launched her skincare brand, and honestly, I am here for it. I watched fully like her little documentary thing that she dropped on YouTube, and I know she was getting a lot of like hate, and people were saying like these ingredients like they don't go together. Like, why would you do like shea butter, like that kind of stuff, you know? And I feel like her documentary was very well thought out in the sense of like everything, like all the hate I've seen, like she low-key addressed it in some way within the documentary, and just like the whole thought process that went behind the entire brand, from like the product to the formulas to like even the packaging and everything. But I think that she is killing it, and I feel like she's really showed like how far she's come with her skin, because I know a lot of people are saying like it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like influencers now or like celebrities now, the next thing that they do is launch some type of like beauty related brand, or like, yeah, any type of beauty related brand. Everybody wants to get into that, like, I don't know, sphere environment or whatever. But with like hers, I feel like it's not necessarily like, oh, like that's the next right thing to do. It's truly something that matters to her, and just seeing like how far her skin has come and everything with her using these products. Like, it's not that she's like spending lots of money and like getting like these fancy facials and stuff. It's truly like the skincare that she's been using that has like helped her. And at the end of the day, skincare like is different for everyone. So I feel like someone's bad experience isn't necessarily going to dictate what everybody else's. And the same thing, like if you have a great experience, doesn't mean everybody's going to have a great experience. I don't know if I made any sense. I feel like I just rambled a lot.
My opinion, this is another thing I don't feel too strongly about. I mean, I've seen both sides of the arguments, and I'm just like in the middle. I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral on it all. If I would say from a marketing perspective, as someone who is getting their master in that, I would say this makes sense for her brand wise, and her marketing makes sense. She's finding a niche and she's making a product for that. So it makes sense. But truly, like Liz said, I mean, skincare is gonna work for some people and it's gonna not work for some people. And I just think of it because like Hailey Bieber has a very successful skincare brand, and one of my favorite products I know breaks a lot of people out, and that's just how skincare is. That's not to say that this product is bad or not bad, but it's just like it works for some people and it doesn't. And I mean, yeah, I think that's all I have to really say. I love the video about it because as a business student, I always love seeing the behind the scenes of someone building a brand, especially as someone who would love to build some type of D2C brand in the far, far future. But yeah, I just love seeing the thought and the planning behind it all. And I just love stuff like that. But I'm sure it will have its success.
And that is all of our pop culture stuff. We're going to go ahead and get into what we're watching. I'll go first because I've only watched one thing. And Kennedy also watched this. But I just watched the new Age of Attraction, like reality TV show on Netflix, which for those of you guys who don't know, let me give you the gist of it. It is basically, I didn't even know that it was Nick Val, whatever his name is, the Vale Files, that podcast. It's him and his wife. Vile. There we go. See, I don't keep up with them. And I didn't realize like the controversy surrounding them, but they have an 18-year like age gap, and there's controversy about them about like when they met, because I think she's like changed the story of like her age or whatever she was. But anyways, besides the point, they're the host of this show, and basically the premise of it is a group of a group of people, obviously, and they're like meeting, obviously like dating show-esque, but they're not saying their ages until they like come to a point where they like promise to commit to one another, and then they say the ages, and then you just follow them like coming to terms with like the differences of age, and like does age truly matter like in love and all that stuff. And being a reality TV show, we're obviously focusing on the couples that have crazy age gaps. I'm talking like a 20-year-old with a 60-year-old, or a like 29-year-old with a 50-year-old and her kids are older than him. You know, like that kind of crazy stuff, you know? Obviously we're saying these crazy age gaps and not like the people that had like a year apart or anything like that. And I finished it. I will be sad for the reunion just because like the ending, I was very surprised about one of the couples specifically, but I think I was more so watching not even because I enjoyed it, just because I was like, this is insane. There's no way this is actually happening. Like this is just crazy to watch. And there were some parts that honestly it made me uncomfortable, like some of the age gaps. Like the 60-year-old with like the 20-year-old when they were like kissing, I was like, that could literally be your grandfather. I don't know, like that could be your father. Like some of these age gaps are really really crazy to see play out, I feel like. And I think it's been getting a lot of like, there's controversy surrounding the show because obviously we're kind of like in a way glorifying or like saying like it's okay to have these big age gaps. And while like to each their own, I do see like the argument with all of it, because I mean, like 30 years apart, it's like a big age gap, you know, especially like nowadays and everything. But, anyways, I just watched it because I was truly entertained for the spectacle of it all.
Yes, I watched Age of Attraction as well, and I don't like any of the couples. I thought every couple's age gap was disgusting. Every time they would be together and be intimate, I'm like, yo, that's actually disgusting. And I think the age gaps, honestly, all of them like grossed me out, but I think the one that really just irked my nerves was the 60-year-old one, and then the Teresa one. I don't know that age gap, but I feel like that's like a very fan favorite, but I'm just like the fact that he's older than, or the fact that he's younger than her kids, and I feel like, oh, and just like the way she acts too about the age gap, I'm like, I feel like a part of you knows you probably shouldn't be dating someone this young, but I digress. I don't know. I just really did not like it. I think the reunion is happening on the actual Vile Files podcast or whatever, but I probably won't watch it, to be honest. I'll just watch TikTok clips. But I am intrigued to see how some certain couples ended up. But yeah, if there's a season 2, I probably won't be watching. I'm just like, but I am biased because I've never liked age gaps. I've always been an age gap hater. Only, well, age gap hater when you're like in your 20s. When you're like in your 30s or whatever, and you're like a grown woman, grown man, whatever, like, period. Do what you want to do. Date a 6-year-old if you want to. But like when you're in your 20s, especially your early 20s, if even a 30-year-old walked up to me, I'll be like, ugh, that's disgusting. So I just can't even imagine dating someone way, way, way older who has grown kids who are literally 2 years or 3 years younger than me. So yeah, that's my personal opinion about this show, but do with that information what you will. And then I watched Jurassic World Rebirth. Honestly, I did not like that movie. Not my favorite of the Jurassic World movies. This one has Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and David Eineko in it. And yes, I watched just for those 3 people that I named. And I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite. My favorite will always be the one with Nick Robinson in it. Like, yeah, that was my man back in the day. And then I watched The Substance, which is like a horror movie. It came out in like 2024. So like I'm super late to the party, but I absolutely loved that movie. So good. So it's on HBO Max. So if you haven't seen that movie, literally go watch it right now. And then I watched the last episode of Neighbors, which I've talked about before. It's like a sensationalized, dramatized docu-series of typical neighbor disputes. And I feel like the show just kept getting wackier and wackier with each episode. And it like amazes me that these type of people could literally be your neighbors and that you truly never know what goes on in other people's homes. So I really liked it. It already got renewed for season 2, so I'm super excited about that. And then Love Story, at the time we're filming this, the last episode has come out, so I haven't watched it yet, but I have watched everything up to the episode before the last episode, and I'm ready for it to be done. I'm interested to see how they handle like the death of Carolyn and John, JFK Jr. But yeah, literally the last episode before the actual last one, is literally they're arguing for 45 minutes straight. And I feel like it's because to set up the day before the crash happened, but it's just like, I don't know. The acting was not good in my opinion, especially from Paul Kelly. And it's like Sarah Pigeon, she's a good actor, but it's like if you're a good actor, you can only do so much depending on like the script that you got as well. And I don't know. And obviously this story is very much, I would say probably 90% of it is probably fake. So it's just like it's probably that this episode is very much like a creative direction type episode, and I just like didn't really like it. But I will let you guys know in the next episode how I feel about the finale and if I feel like they handled it correctly. But yeah, that's all I've been watching.
And now we're gonna go ahead and get into Song of the Week, you guys. And I am officially done with my Harry songs. To be honest, I forgot which ones I had played and which ones Kennedy had played. Just know the whole album was a bop. Don't take this as a sign that it wasn't. But anyways, my Song of the Week is a song that I've been really listening because I feel like with warmer weather, I don't know, the Lumineers are truly like whatever our weather is, I feel like they're the vibe. So I've been listening to Life in the City a lot, and here's my favorite part for you guys. And that's my Song of the Week.
And my Song of the Week is Potion by Joe Curie, if you didn't know. And I love the beginning part of it, so I'll play it. Just so good. If you guys haven't listened to The Crux, this is your sign to listen to it right now. It's perfect for this weather.
She's calling me out specifically, you guys. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into the topic of our episode, which is our top 10 favorite movies in no particular order, because I feel like ranking these movies would be criminal because I feel like all of our movies have nothing to do with one another, so there's just no way to rank them. This is just our personal opinion. Don't come for us and say these are awful movies, that the acting is terrible, that the storyline is awful. That is your, but here on the Girls Lounge podcast, these are our personal top 10 favorite movies.
Yes, so I'll start. So my first one, honestly, low-key, I would say this deserves to be number one. This movie, it has followed me throughout the years, and that is Journey to the Mysterious Island. You know, the little I don't even know what type of movie, like a little action movie with Josh Hutcherson, Vanessa Hudgens, The Rock. Yeah, you guys, I saw that movie when I was young, and I swear my life changed. Like, I distinctly still remember like being in the movie theater and watching that movie with my mom and my brother. Like, that movie was just so good. Like, I have it on DVD. I've watched it so many times, and it's just so good. Like, I don't know, like, and it still holds up till this day, if I do say so myself. And just like the plot, the action of it, and just like, I think I wanted to go to the Mysterious Island when I was little. I'm like, I want to be there. I want to live there. And it's just so good. I mean, I don't have anything else to say except that. Like, every time like I like impose with a question on what's your favorite movie, I always want to say that movie. Yeah, it's a holy grail. It will be with me. Like, I want to be buried with that movie when I die.
I swear they don't make movies like that movie, like that type of like action comedy. They just don't make the same no more. But my first favorite movie is Crazy Rich Asians. You guys, I think that this is my number one movie. I watched this movie so many times. Every time I'm on a plane, you best believe if they have a little movie screen, I am watching Crazy Rich Asians. Anytime it's on Netflix, because I swear it gets like 1 month it's on, next month it's gone, 1 month it's on. It's a whole cycle. It's very toxic of Netflix personally, but every time I see it's back on Netflix, I will sit down and watch it. I love this movie. This is like that kind of movie that came out like late 2000s or whatever, that reminded you of what rom-coms were supposed to be. I think it is the perfect amount of like funny with like some serious topics and just like the whole storyline and everything. I'm honestly surprised I haven't read the books because I know that it's based on some books, but I haven't done that and I need to get to it. Also, like the casting, that is like the most diverse cast I've seen in a movie. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that there's a single white person in that movie. If there is, they must be background characters on the plane or something. But I absolutely love the movie. And Nick Young, I forgot his actual name in real life. Yeah, say less, you guys. I will marry him. I like need to go to Singapore just because of this movie and see the street food market. Crazy Rich Asians is that movie.
I will say sometimes they put that movie on HBO Max, so that's where it goes when it's on Netflix. But my next movie is The Long Walk. This is one I saw last year, I think, and I've only been able to watch it once because it's so sad. But that is a movie that has stuck with me since I watched that movie, and I have nothing but good things. It's one of those movies where it's like, this is what movies are all about. This is why we make movies, watch movies. This is why life is worth living. It's so good. It's based off a book. I've talked about it before. The plot is very like a dystopian type vibe where these kids, they like have to sign up, boys specifically, they have to do this long walk, and whoever makes it to the end wins like all this money or whatever. And it's just so good, and just such a good representation of like friendship, but more specifically like brotherhood and male friendships, which I feel like there's not a lot of good representation of that, hence why the male species is why it is the way it is now. So I feel like this is like a must see movie for like any men specifically, and just it was just such a beautiful movie and with some good plot twists as well.
I think this episode is just going to be me and Kennedy inspiring each other to like rewatch or watch movies for the first time, because I haven't watched that one yet. But my next one is Love, Rosie. You guys are going to see a trend with my like movies that a lot of them are rom-coms. I love rom-coms. I will watch every single rom-com no matter how cringy it is. But Love, Rosie, I think like before Crazy Rich Asians came out, I think that this was like my favorite rom-com. I love the story of just like, I just love everything about it. I love Sam Claflin specifically, but this movie, it's like two like friends that are basically like right person wrong time, and I swear right person wrong time the entire duration of the movie. And it's so stressful watching it because you're like, oh my gosh, you guys, just confess your feelings to one another. And also has like, I feel like iconic kind of like songs in it that like always, like whenever I hear them I always think of this movie specifically. I have no idea what it's streaming on, but whenever I see it on something I always watch it because I love Rosie, you guys. I tell all my friends to watch it. I don't know if they love it as much as I do. I think that they don't, but I just, something about me is toxic, I guess, that I love the pain of just watching them have miscommunication, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're listening to this podcast and you resonate with my personality, you're not gonna like that movie. But I can see why Elizabeth loves it. But my next movie is It, and I'm not talking about the OG. I'm talking about like the reboot one or whatever that came out in 2017 with Finn Wolfhard and the other people. I can't think of their names, but that movie's so good. And like part of why I think I love that movie so much is because one, it's a horror movie. If you want to know my favorite genres, it's rom-coms and horror movies. Which are so polar opposites. But I saw that movie during the opening weekend with a theater full of people, and it was just the greatest viewing experience. And the movie, I love good horror movies that are able to blend like actual horror elements, but also a good elements of comedy and just like make you laugh and kind of give you some comedic relief during like all the really like scary parts as well. And I don't know, I just think it's such a good movie. I just love seeing like fresh faces and fresh talent in movies as well. I feel like that low-key might be like a theme throughout all my movies. And again, these are like all a group of actors I've never seen before. And this is during the time when I was watching Stranger Things 2. And I don't know, I just feel like that time was like a good era for like the set of actors. So it was just a really cool movie, and I've watched it multiple times, and it's always a good movie for me. Like it will always be up there.
My next movie is The Parent Trap, not the OG movie, the one with Lindsay Lohan. I think it's Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, it is. But that movie is, I feel like it's so nostalgic watching it. It always reminds me of my childhood. It's one of those movies, like if I need a specifically like Disney Plus background noise movie to watch, The Parent Trap always goes on for me. Like it's always on my continue watching. At some point I like saw, yeah, I'm always watching, you guys. But I love this movie. I think it's unique in the sense I feel like I haven't seen The Parent Trap storyline in other movies, you know? If you don't know what The Parent Trap is, I don't know what rock you're living under, because I feel like it's one of those movies that is iconic. I love the little handshake with the butler. Just like I love the girls too. I also specifically love the mom, like her style, like Elizabeth, I forget her last name, but she is iconic in her own way and everything. And even I forgot her name too, but the one that was on Dancing with the Stars, that's like the evil stepmother kind of vibe. Yeah, both of their styles, all of them. I love that movie. I think it's just really good. I think it's also like really funny too. It has like really funny scenes. And I love movies specifically that have like a deeper meaning kind of, but also kind of like are funny at the same time. Cause like The Parent Trap is one of those movies that has like the found family deeper meaning to it and all. And yeah. Oh, and of course love the LOVE like song in the beginning when they're on the boat. Yeah, that song is iconic, and that specific movie like made me, when I was younger, I wanted to get married on a boat, like on a yacht like that specifically.
And then my next favorite movie is 10 Things I Hate About You. I think this is my favorite rom-com of all time. Like none can replace that. I watched this movie a couple years ago and I've never looked back. Like it is just so good. I mean, I don't know. I don't really even know how to like describe it to like why it's so good. I mean, I feel like it's very relatable, has good music. It just has all of those like I can't remember when this movie came out. Was it like the 90s, the 2000s? I don't know, whatever era that was, they encapsulate it perfectly. The storyline's good. The characters just I mean, the perfect casting ever. And yeah, like once it's summertime, like we are watching this movie.
And my next one is all of the Harry Potter movies. I love the Harry Potter movies, and I'm actually excited for the like reboot thing that they're doing because it's like the show or whatever. But I love the movies. They are so nostalgic. Like I watched all of those. I remember like the last two when they came out in theaters, and like the signs at the movie theaters with like Voldemort versus Harry, you know, like battling. Like I remember viewing these movies like in the movie theaters, and I absolutely love them. We have them all like on Blu-ray DVD, you know. I think they're so good. I think they're those movies that you can watch literally like at any point in the year and it will relate in some way. Like I know a lot of people rewatch them in like the winter time because like winter at Hogwarts is like amazing, but then there's also like the fall time you can watch them, and then there's like the summer. Yeah, there's those movies that you can watch year round whenever, and they never get old. I don't know how many times I have sat down and like rewatched them, but they will never get old. I'm never like scrolling on my phone while I watch them. I'm like hooked, entertained, and I truly think that nothing comes close kind of like to the Harry Potter universe in that sense.
And my next movie is High School Musical 2. Now, prepare for some controversy, you guys, because I believe High School Musical 2 is the best High School Musical movie. It clears 1 and 3 by far. I mean, that movie, not only is it set in the summertime, but I mean, it's banger after banger after banger of song. I mean, the storyline is amazing, of course. I think one of my favorite scenes is to the song Work It Out, and they're in the kitchen dancing, and then Gabriella does the whole do-do-do-do-do, and then like it just like pops off in the kitchen. I love that song, and then just the whole like the Troy and Gabriella like breakup scene. I remember watching that being so sad, but then it all comes together at the end, and then they like sing to each other. And I mean, it is the best vibes and just like that feeling and excitement of like it's summertime, school's ending, and I think Troy looked the best. His name is, we're gonna act like his real name is Troy. I think Troy looked the freaking best in that movie, so good. And I love Gabriella's hair color as well in that movie for some reason. But I don't know. I think I mean, just all the like music in this movie is amazing. Like I truly cannot complain, and I could watch this movie over and over again. I mean, we have the iconic Fabulous in there as well. I also love the scene where they're I think her name's Kelsey, that's like the piano person, and Troy and Gabriella are singing. I love that scene as well. And just like seeing just kind of like how Troy, you know, after he like he's kind of like, what's the word, after him and Gabriella break up, it's kind of like he's kind of moping around, and just like seeing him like that sad, I'm like, yes. And then he just comes to term with like, you know, all this other stuff doesn't matter. It's just truly being with your friends and being a team player. And I don't know, I just love all of it, and just seeing, you know, the different cliques come together.
No, because a dip in the pool, a trip to the spot. Yeah, that song is iconic. I will add to that and just say that also like I feel like, you know, those like not bucket lists, but like a bucket list of like things that you have to experience in person. I need to go to that golf course. I need to experience that golf course in person when the sprinklers go off. Yeah, that's on my list, you guys, just because of that movie. But my next movie is 27 Dresses, which is an iconic rom-com. I would say it's like one of like it's top 3 rom-coms for me. That's why it's obviously on this list. But that movie, I rewatch it once a year at least. I absolutely love the premise of this movie of just like always being the maid of honor, never being like the bride, you know, never being the one. I don't know. I feel like I can like relate to her in some sense. And just like I love the style of it because like every wedding that she's been in is completely different styles. Some styles I personally I'm like, there is no way that they wanted you to wear that at the wedding. That is actually crazy. But I guess to each their own and everything. And the scene at the like dive bar, I never know if it's Benny in the Jets or Betty in the Jets, but that scene is iconic when they're like on the bar just like having a time of their life and everything. Yeah, I love that movie. It is one of those rom-coms that is just iconic. I always forget the name of the main girl, but she's on Grey's Anatomy. She's Izzy on Grey's Anatomy. I feel like every rom-com that she was in was iconic in its own way, but 27 Dresses is that movie. And I feel like there's no other movie that has like tried to do that kind of storyline, you know, in that sense. Cause like obviously you can't beat 27 Dresses, but I love that in its own way that it's like that is the one, that is the movie.
27 Dresses is on my list of rom-coms to watch, and I did not even know the premise of that movie, so I'm excited to watch. And it made me think of another movie that I probably should have talked about, but I'm gonna give it an honorable mention, and that is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I mean, iconic. But yeah, I definitely will watch that soon.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you missed my jaw dropping. Kennedy, you need to watch that this weekend. You were talking about being in a rut. This movie will like it just lift your spirits.
We'll see about that. And then my next movie is Dead Poets Society. I remember where I was when I watched this movie for the first time. It was winter break, freshman year of college. I hadn't gone back to school yet, and I was just like, I'm gonna just throw this movie on. My life has changed since. All these movies, I'm like, I've watched this once, and my life has never been the same. But genuinely, like, this movie is so not like a movie I would typically watch. Maybe now though, but I feel like back then that was not really like my movie taste. It is just so good. It's like another one of those kind of like male friendship heavy type of movies, and just like the importance of being creative and artistry, even if you know you want to career those paths such as law, business, etc. And I don't know, it's just such a good movie. I love it. It is a very sad movie. I'm not going to tell you guys why, and I cry every time I watch it, but it's just so good. Neil was such an impactful character for me, and I feel like in a way I related to him in some way at a certain time. Ethan Hawke is in that movie, if you guys know who that is. Yeah, that I think that was one of his like earliest kind of roles, was doing Dead Poet Society, or maybe even his first role. But I read the book as well. It's not really like a book, but someone like essentially took the screenplay and made it into a book. But like the movie is just immaculate, so many good lessons in there, and like every time I watch it I take something new out of it every time. So yeah, I highly recommend watching it. And it's not even like fully just a sad movie. There are definitely some parts of like happiness and like joyfulness in it as well, and I think the cinematography is perfect as well. There is kind of like one storyline that I'm like, ugh. Like this is like kind of weird, like the way this one guy is acting, but it's not necessarily something that like ruins the movie for me. It is like for sure like low-key a top 5 movies of all time for me.
Kennedy's gonna hate me, you guys, but I still haven't watched Dead Poets Society. I feel like she talks about it all the time, and I just haven't got to it. But my next movie is A Little Princess. This movie is like so nostalgic for me because when I was younger, this was my favorite movie. Like this was my favorite movie, you guys. I'm talking back when you could buy movies on iTunes. I spent the $20 and I bought this movie. Like it's on my phone. That was my favorite movie. But basically this movie is a little girl. It's like I think it's set during World War II, but it's a little girl and her mom passed away like when she was born. So it's just her and her dad, and he gets like drafted into the war. So he's out in war and she gets sent to this like not an orphanage because like it's not like a little boarding school kind of vibe, and she's the little princess of the her dad calls her the little princess and everything, and like she like comes into, and everybody loves her, she's like rich and everything, you know, and her dad passes away in the war and she loses everything and she becomes like the servant at the boarding school. And basically I'm just gonna ruin it for you guys, but basically next door, this old man, his son comes back from war, but he's like lost his memory, has bandages all over his head, and it turns out it's the little girl's dad, and he has amnesia and he can't remember her. And there's this iconic scene in the movie where like the orphanage and the old man's house are like right next door, and basically the headmistress of the boarding school is like going to arrest the girl because she's like claiming that she stole stuff, and the police are like coming, it's like storming outside, and she literally puts like a plank between her, like the boarding school, and the house next door, because she's like she's gonna escape over there. And she goes over there, and then she sees her dad, and like the police come for her, they're dragging her away, and like she's yelling his name, and then he remembers. And you guys, that scene, I will forever cry every single time I watch that scene. Yeah, it's just truly such a nostalgic movie. Don't get me wrong, this is like a or like in the 19 something film, like probably 1990s is what I'm thinking, so it's not like 2000 quality, but the storyline and everything, and it's just truly so nostalgic. I haven't rewatched it in the longest time, but I know that I feel so strongly about it that like I couldn't not put it on this list.
Yeah, I would never be watching that movie in my life. That sounds terrible. Um, and then my next movie is, I'm cheating with this one because I'm putting multiple movies, but all of the Hunger Games movies. Again, I watched Catching Fire. I watched the first Hunger Games movie first. I think for some reason I feel like I watched Catching Fire first before the first one, but that doesn't make sense because I vividly remember watching the Hunger Games, so I don't know why I'm like lying to myself. But anyways, again, I watched Hunger Games, the first movie, long time ago. It was when we still have a Wii, but Netflix was on Wii because like it still like was compatible at that time, and Netflix looked so different. And I remember I just turned it on, and my dad was in the living room watching it with me too, and I swear my life has changed ever since. Like, you guys, I'm just saying this about every movie, but I don't know, it's just something about the Hunger Games movies that like just really resonated with my, I guess, and specifically like the Mockingjay movies, especially part one. Like, you'll forever hold a special place in my heart. I do have the books. I've read both prequel novels, so Snow's book and Haymitch's book, but I haven't read the core three, which I need to get to that sometime. But I mean, there's just something so comforting about these books. And I guess you can say like a theme with some of the movies that I like is I like books, or books. I like movies with some action, but with also some deep meaning behind it. I love dystopian movies. And low key though, I couldn't watch Hunger Game movies at a certain time because it was getting a little too close to real time, but I can watch them again. But I just think they're just such, for younger people, it's just such a good movie to like kind of show the critiques of the real world, but putting it in like a dystopian world. So it's not only like enjoyment, but also, informative in a way, and just really makes you think.
My next one, you guys, is Lemonade Mouth. Lemonade Mouth, it was such an iconic Disney original movie. The songs in this, trust, I can listen to those songs on their own without watching the movie. That's like how you know that it's a good song and everything. Yeah, I feel like this movie is one of those movies that nothing has come close to it in the sense of like the storyline, just the music, the songs, the acting, everything about it. Because it was like one of those, it wasn't like a like ha 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 Disney original movie, like there was like some depth to it, into the characters, and I absolutely love it. All the songs, like I said, controversial, you guys. I don't know if this is controversial actually. I love the little the crush, I think that's what they were called. Basically the Naomi, her boyfriend's little band, the little song that they sing, and they're like in their cars or whatever, they're like jumping on cars and they're like, we're the crush. Yeah, I really like that song, I'm not gonna lie. But I love Lemonade Mouth. It is iconic. If you haven't watched it, I won't tolerate no Lemonade Mouth hate, so keep it to yourself if you hate it, you guys.
And then my next movie is specifically the first movie in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before movie. Again, I knew where I was at when I first watched this movie. I mean, just like the chemistry between the two main characters in this was impeccable. And I mean, it was like the perfect rom-com. And this was the time when Noah oh my god. And this was the time when Noah Centineo was really popping off. He was Netflix's new it boy of the moment. And he was the perfect Peter Kavinsky. And I don't know, I loved the two movies following, but low key, I read the books and I still have them, and I feel like that made me kind of view the two movies differently because I was like, wait, why are these better than the? I'm like, why are these books better than the movies? But like the first movie will always like that is up there. Like 10 Things I Hate About You is probably rom com number one. This movie is rom com number two for me. Like it is just so good, and just like we get to see a Asian actor as a lead role in a rom com, and just seeing that culture and just everything. I don't know. I just really liked it.
My next movie is, I feel like it has nothing to do with any movie in my category, but it is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, you guys. I've watched all the like OG Star Wars movies because my mom grew up like watching those movies and they're her favorite movies. So she sat us down one time when we were younger. She bought all the Blu-ray DVDs movies and we watched it like in the release order, and then we watched it in like the storyline order. So like I know it, surprisingly I know those movies. But Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, you guys, I love that movie. I don't know if it's maybe because like Anakin is the main character in it, and I love Anakin. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of, maybe he had his peak when these movies came out, because like him now, I don't know, looks a little different. I guess age got to him. But I love those movies. They are so good to watch. Specifically the Star Wars or the Revenge of the Sith. It's truly when like everything comes together, and the way it comes together I feel like is so iconic, of like it's the bridge between like Star Wars and everything's like good, and then Star Wars Darth Vader and everything. It's so good. The like lava fighting scene, just everything about it. It's a long movie, I will say, but like if you're trying to get into the Star Wars like movies, obviously don't start with this movie. Actually, I guess you no, don't start with this movie, but like get through it just so you can experience this movie because it really is so good. And yeah, just the way the story comes together and everything connects, I will forever remember like what this is one of those movies that changed me. Like watching it for the first time and seeing like how it all came together and just like everything came how it played out into fruition was crazy to see.
Yes, the Star Wars universe is on my list of movies to watch. I remember during the pandemic, I went through a phase where I was like, I'm watching every single Marvel movie, and I did, and I felt empty inside. And I was like, well, the next franchise is Star Wars, but I got too overwhelmed on whether to watch it in release order or like the storyline order or whatever. So I just have never gone back to it, but eventually I will.
I think that you should watch it in storyline order so it makes more sense. Because I feel like if you watch it in release order, it's gonna lose you specifically, Kennedy. So I think you should just watch it in like storyline order, and you get quicker to the whole Revenge of the Sith movie. So it works out even better for you.
That sounds daunting already. But I'll come back to you guys whenever that time comes. But my next movie is The Parent Trap. I saw this was on Elizabeth's list, so I had to steal. Originally, it was Knives Out, which like I love, but I'm like, I love The Parent Trap more though. This again is a movie that like so nostalgic. It is one of my favorite, movies from that time. I grew up watching this movie. I mean the cinematography of it. Ever since I watched that movies, I always wanted to go to Napa Valley. So if anyone wants to send me and Elizabeth there, we can go on behalf of Napa Valley tourism or something. Send us there because I really want to go there. And I literally even have a Parent Trap shirt, you guys. So that's how you know the love is real. And I don't know. I mean, it's just a good movie. I don't have anything more to add to what Elizabeth said. I think one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when they're in the camp and Hallie pranks the other cabin. It's just like a bunch of chaos before like they then have to go to like the cabin by themselves. And I also love like that part of the movie as well. But it's just super good. And I love seeing them prank the evil stepmother, and like their actual real mother is just so iconic as well. May she rest in peace. But yeah, it's just that movie is like my summertime movie. Like honestly, summertime and fall time is when I love to watch that movie. And I love the song that plays when they do the little handshake with the butler, and then I think the two sisters end up doing it too, I believe. But Soulful Strut, if you're curious, that's the name of the song, and just so good. And that movie just, I mean, it ages well.
And since Kennedy copied me, I'm also copying her. And my next movie is 10 Things I Hate About You. Only thing I have to add about this movie is the iconic speech. Every single time I watch it, every edit I get of this scene, I will watch it. I will save it and I will like it, you guys, because that scene, like, is it too much to ask for, you guys? Is it too much for to ask for? It's one of those like 90s movies that are just like so good. Like, you don't need crazy effects or anything. It gets the job done.
Yes, and low key, one of my favorite parts of watching that movie is seeing when that one, like the guidance counselor or whatever, is like writing her little romance novel. And it's like so freaky. I don't know. That part's just so funny. But my last movie is going to be multiple movies. I'm sorry. But honestly, most DCOM movies I love and will still watch to this day. I wrote some down like Wendy Wu, Lemonade Mouth, Avalon High, Minute Man. Like, there are so many that I love, and I can literally just rewatch them all the time. I feel like in college I was rewatching a lot of decom movies, and I feel like low key during the pandemic I was like going back and rewatching movies I haven't seen in a long time. That Disney Channel has made. Oh my gosh, Stuck in the Suburbs. That was a good one. I love that one as well. Oh my gosh, I just thought of another movie I could have put, which is literally one of my favorite movies. Another Cinderella Story, the one with Selena Gomez. Yep, yeah, that ate. So that's gonna be decom adjacent since it is Selena Gomez. But yeah, any movies from that era, I love. Like they're the best. No notes. It could have the worst acting, but I don't care. I love it.
I'm gonna add to that list the Princess Protection Program. I love that movie. Demi and Selena, iconic, you guys. Also, DCOM is Disney Channel original movies, by the way. If you guys didn't know, which like what rock do you live under? Now, my last movie, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna do two because I have one that I was like, I'm just gonna do it. But then when Kennedy was talking about Selena Gomez adjacent, I thought of another one. So I'll do that one first, and then I'll do the one that I was originally gonna do. But Selena Gomez adjacent, like Disney Channel original movie adjacent, Monte Carlo, you guys, such a good movie. That movie, I feel like nobody knows about it. You go, I feel like it's like a if you know, you know, which I think is crazy because it's so good. But it's this like this high schooler. She's gonna go on a little like European. She invented Euro summers, you guys. Euro summer with her best friend, but the parents don't trust the best friend, and they're like, "You're gonna go with your stepsister," and they hate each other, and they go, and she ends up meeting someone that she's like her doppelganger with, and she kind of like impersonates her, and they're living a crazy rich life in Monte Carlo, Monaco, and like now like being like F1 girlies and like liking Charles Leclerc and everything. Just like all that part of it is so crazy. Last when I was in study abroad, I went to I went to Monaco, and the night before we went, I like was talking about this movie, how iconic it is, and my friends had never watched it. So you best believe I sat them down and I educated them on this movie before we went to Monaco. Because what do you mean you're going to Monaco and you haven't watched this iconic movie? It is so good. I swear it's like, I feel like it's not streaming on anything, or if it is, it's like very like, I don't know, like very weird, like a very niche platform, probably like on Tubi or something. But that movie is so good. And I'm just thinking of so many other movies right now, but I'm not gonna say them because actually, shout out to Wild Child. If you know, you know. But the one I was originally going to say was, I don't know if like maybe me in a year will think that this is part of my top 10 movies, but me right now, you know, I've truly just been thinking about it so much that it's made the list. K-pop Demon Hunters, you guys. Yeah, I was joking with Kennedy. I was like, watch me put this on the list, but you know, it just spoke to me in this episode, and I'm adding it. I am not going to be ashamed. That movie, I remember the first time I watched it, I was on the plane. Me and my brother were watching it at the same time, and I hadn't realized like how much of a big movie this was when I watched it. But truly, you guys, every time Golden comes on to like music on the radio or something, I very much turn up the volume. I have the entire words memorized. I love this movie. I'm so excited for the like second movie that's going to come out. It is just, there's nothing like it, and the music is actually crazy. So yeah, I'm not ashamed. I'm a proud lover of K-pop Demon Hunter.
Yes, and now those are all of our movies. As you can see, we have a wide range, and low-key we could probably do a part 2 in the future. Now, instead of top 10, it's not gonna be 11 to 20. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna close out on this episode. Another reminder, don't forget to make sure you're following us if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We post every Wednesdays, obviously. Comment down below your favorite movies, top 10, your letterbox if you even want to, so we can stalk you. But yeah, that's all we have for you guys today, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.